we have to tie the rose bush back. Let's see, back here. Need to fix that feeder today. Here, guys. And put some here. That one's gone. I thought there was another feeder. Well, I guess that's it. What am I missing? No. I see you guys in the trees. All right. I've got it now. Oh, the black one over there. That's one I gotta fix today. I think that's it. Oh, we've got a leaf in the water. We don't want leaves in the water. Boy, I should make a green drink out of that. How beautiful. Oh well. Okay, no leaves in the water. It makes a mess. All right, I think that's, oh, here's another one. Haven't found that one yet. All right, I think that's good. For the 10th time today. See how quick it takes them to find that. All right. Let's see, am I on? I don't even know if I'm on. I have never scheduled anything before. And I figured I'm gonna test that. Yes, you're my guinea pigs. No, I figured I'm gonna try it. Let me open up my tablet. And let's see. Oh my gosh, I made tea. Okay, give me a minute and I'll see if I'm live because I don't even know. So according to my thing, I am not live. Am I live? Do you not see me? So if I'm not live, it says I'm live. See, I don't even know how to work this. Let's see. Oh, I am live. Okay, because it just kept showing my picture I had taken earlier. So I want to clear up some stuff, even though most of you I think already know because we talked about it, but I'm getting like tons of questions on kitchens. So 55 people to go through and say hello to. And let's butcher everybody's name like I always have done my whole life. How about just first names? But Barbara Samar, hello. Anita Graves, hello from Florida. Melinda Roth, hello. Let me tell you something, Melinda. If you ever go on somebody's live feed, this is something I found out last night, and you keep putting in messages, you know, your chat in the chat, and they keep taking it off, and you think, I'm not cussing, I'm not saying anything bad. If people hire these companies that come in, and there actually are companies, there's companies for everything, to go through the chats and take off anything that's not good or not right or vulgar or whatever, they also remove people that do caps. I didn't know this. I saw it last night. So keep that in mind. So if you're ever doing somebody's chat and you keep seeing it being removed, that means they've hired a company and they remove automatically, their system will remove capitals. And at that point, you'll have to just write it normally. I don't have anybody working for us. I wish I did. But I don't have anybody working for us, so your capitals are fine. Ben Dingo, hello. I thought I'd throw that out there. Judy Hart, hello. Let's see, Melinda, that's right. Oh, it's sunny in Texas. Melinda Roth. Yeah, you know, I was going to do it from the hummingbirds. And because of the angle of the sun where the hummingbirds are feeding in the window, every time the sun comes out, it just washes the camera away and it just looks white. And so I'm going to have to wait for a cloudy, even rainy day. You know how many times they said we're going to have rain and we have not, but lately? So see, even the sun now, I haven't had sun. I've been working in the garden. I'm going to, oh, let me see something. 30 minutes. I'm going to stay on for 30 minutes. I actually have a video I'm working on. It's really a project for myself, and I wasn't sure if anybody would be interested, but I figured I'd better go ahead and do the video because it's got multiple uses. So I'm going to use it for making compost. I'm going to use it for the birds and the wildlife. I'm going to use it to get rid of my kitchen scraps. And it's working fantastic. I made one already, and I'm so thrilled with it. And I can't believe what's going on with the, well, I'll show you when I do it. But anyways, I've been working on that all morning and got that set up. My throat gets dry all the time, just right there. Sorry. Anyways, so I'm going to get that together, and hopefully I'll get the video up in the next couple days, but I'm going to set it up. It's going to be wonderful. So I think a lot of you can use it even if you're under snow. The only ones that can't use it, I think the only people that cannot use it are you guys that tell me, what do I do with my bears? Until we deal with bears, we don't. Right now we have bobcats, but until we deal with bears, I don't know. But I would say there's a solution. I could fix it for bears, but I don't need to. So let's see who else I have here. Debbie Hediger. If I don't have it right, I think that's close enough. Hello. Let's see. I sure know you two can never grow enough birdseed. Of course they're going to do their garden now. Can you still hear me? Or do I have to cut this? Because I hear they've got their... Oh, no, that's not the gardening. That's the big yellow house on the hill that they've been building for the past 5 years. They're putting in an infinity swimming pool. So that's what they're working on today. So anyways, no, I can't grow enough. I would have to have acreage in order to grow enough. Gary told me he just went and bought 2 50-pound sacks of finch mix and 2 50-pound sacks of parakeet mix and a 50-pound sack of sunflower, and I see it's going quick. So it's kind of, look, they don't want to come in. They were all here a few minutes ago. It's kind of getting out of hand, but it's okay. I enjoy them. Look, we don't vacation. So we used to, but we don't vacation anymore. We used to take off and go to Vegas for dinner. We did it quite often. It'd be like, oh, we worked all day and let's go to Vegas. So we used to go to Vegas and have dinner. Judy, oh, and the little one. I don't have the little one here. She's somewhere else right now. But hello, September Bosch, Bosch, hello. She's a member. See, I said Anita, sunset gazing. Blue jays are the meanies. Oh, we don't have blue jays here. See, and you're talking, I think you were talking among each other about it. We have scrub jays, and they can be mean. They'll even take baby hummingbirds out of a nest. So they are nasty. We have, the scrub jays here look very similar to the blue jays that are in the forest up in the mountains, except that, of course, they've got the crests and ours don't. But when I first saw one, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a scrub jay with crest. It was that close. So there's a couple different variations of them. But our blue jays are mean. I put out peanuts periodically, and they don't come in right now this time of the year that often. Oops, hold on. I want to fix this because the water's coming out. I put a little piece of yarn there, and it guides the water back in. So anyways, they come in, and if they know I'm putting peanuts out, I'm trying to train them that it's only going to be in 2 bowls. Otherwise, they come in, and all the birds leave until they're gone. I'm Donald Kenning, hello, thank you for being here. Let's see, grateful Vivi, happy birthday to Gary. You know, he didn't want to do anything but just do his own thing and be left alone, so that's what I did. He did get a set of earphones. I got him that for his birthday, where you can go Bluetooth with your. It's probably not a good idea, but he's got a set of earphones. I should do a review on that. I absolutely love them. I got them from Walmart. I have nothing to do with Walmart, but they had them for the best price, and he can Bluetooth his tablet. He doesn't have a tablet. He uses mine. His phone, and then he can work. And believe you me, he's not going to answer a text. He's not going to answer a phone call. He doesn't even hear me if I'm in the same room. So hopefully I won't be out somewhere, stuck somewhere where he'll have that on, but he loves it. He absolutely loves it. Jacob, you are live. We can see you. Okay, good. I was hoping I mic'd myself right now that you can hear me. I'm just worried about the background noise. Fran, K-R-U-E-G-E-R. Yes, you are live, darling. Ugh. Someday I'll do it live in the middle of the night, not just do it live and then put it on. Oh my God. Linford Pierce, how are you doing? Hi, Robin. I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. The thing is, I am timing myself with my timer. I'm in my yard clothes because I really want to get this set up. I'm so excited. I think I'm going to set one up there. I'm probably going to set a small one up in here, and then I might put one further down. You'll see it when I get the video up. It's fantastic. It's so good for so many things. Roberto Escobar. Hello, Barbara C., another member with a wrench. Hello, thank you. So let's see. Oh, you know what? If I do this, this is going to take, it's going to take, I'm going to let the wrenches say hello for me because this will take forever. Melanie Hoffman, Mary Playford, Cindy Warren, Werner from Kansas. Hello. I think I've got, if I missed anybody, Jane Knight, happy birthday to Gary. I think he's still here. We might step in. Adele Long, you can hear me. Okay, I think it's Eileen, isn't it? Barneck? I don't think it's Elaine. I think it's Eileen. That's my middle name, Eileen. Barbara, I said hello to you before, I think. I will have to get of all the skin doctors right now. Not sure what that means, but okay. Adele, let's see, Idella Long. She said happy birthday to Gary. I think I already said that. Okay, if I missed anybody, I'm really, Pat Kruger, Geraldine Hayward, hello. I think I've got everybody and I've missed anybody, and if you're coming on now. Okay, raise your hands if you know we have two kitchens. Some of you have been asking, hey, we don't have a set though, but raise your hands. Let's see, anybody understand we have two kitchens? Judy R., hello. Jane Hill, happy birthday to Gary. He's around here. We'll say hello. Nobody's raising their hands. Let's see. Yes, look at this. I see the hands coming up. Dorothy, yes, she sees it. UB Social Work says yes. Adele, she's put up two hands. Okay, Grace in the garden. Okay, Donna, I see the hands. Okay, Gary's here. Earphones must be noise. Yes, they are noise canceling. In fact, I told him to shut it off, but it's still, he can't hear me. The noise canceling, apparently, there's a button on the side. I didn't understand what it was, and it's supposed to give a shh that you won't hear, they say. And some people get headaches from it. They said they can get dizzy. He doesn't need it. Once he's got those things on, he doesn't hear me. Okay, so let me explain what is going on here so you'll all understand it. And then when somebody says, hey, do you have two kitchens? Go watch the live. It's only 30 minutes. Okay, countdown. Anyways, I moved up here in 1988. Long story, someday we'll get into it. I lived in Shadow Hills. I loved it there. I actually lived in Sunland for 15 plus years, and I loved it. I didn't even want to be here, but I ended up here. I almost went back to Shadow Hills, and then a friend of mine who is gone now took me for a ride and said, you're in such a beautiful area. Why would you want to go back to Shadow Hills? It was horse property, had a great zoning, pretty good community, a really nice community, and I really liked it. So I ended up staying here. So I moved up here where I live now in 1988. I didn't know Gary, and my life is such a crazy life. You don't want to hear it right now, and I'm not going to get into that right now. It would take hours. So that's how I ended up here, and that's not here, but it's a few feet over, okay? So I bought that house. And back then, property was cheaper. I would never in a million years be able to get it now. So anyways, I moved there, and I think you can hear me over that noise, right? Because that noise sounds awful loud to me. Oh, the recipe, I'm going to make a new video on the green drink. Can you hear me? I can't find the hand. No, you could have just, yes, you can hear me. Okay, because I worry about all that noise. All right. I saw many, many properties up here. I went and looked at a lot of different properties. They were all old. A lot of them were older. Some of them were newer. But so many of them in this area, because I'm right off the city, they all would have So that, in other words, you would get a house and no land. You'd have the land because they got it big enough. They have it's about 1 acre lots, but a lot of them, they don't have usable land, or they put the house on the usable land and the rest of it is like all downhill. So I came to this house and I didn't tell anybody at the time I was buying it, especially my mother. And long story on that. But anyways, I decided on the house with the little tiny kitchen because, as I said in that long video I made while I was making cookies, whatever you buy, you can change the house if you wanted to, but you can never change the land. Technically, you cannot change the land. You can't add to it. You can't really flatten it easily. You can't do that much. So that was the house that had a couple things I really liked. I liked the way it was sitting and tucked away, so I didn't have neighbors on top of me because I lived in apartments and places that if you talk too loud, your neighbor could hear you and stuff like that. I liked the setup. I didn't know anything about the neighborhood, just the people in general. It had a teeny kitchen. I did know that I was the second person ever living in that house. The first people that built it did not hire a designer. Don't you ever try to build a house without a designer. Gary's always had comments on that. That was funny. I don't even know if you're interested in this. Are you really interested in hearing all this? Yes, you can hear me over the construction. Thank you, Donald. You're raising your hand. Does that mean yes? Anyways, I forgot what I was talking about. So anyways, the first people lived there for, I think, about 15 years. They raised their kids there. Anyways, when I saw the house, it had a tiny kitchen. The realtors lied to me. Oh, you can look out your window and see Catalina on a nice, clear day. First of all, in Southern California, you rarely have clear days. And second of all, Catalina is there. So I would have to blow that mountain up for me to see Catalina. So that was a story in itself. But anyways, the point is it had enough bedrooms, it had enough space. And the biggest downfall on that was it does have a hilly property, but enough land that you can do something with. And the kitchen was so tiny because the people that built it, like I said, they didn't even think. They built a living room off this family room, and the living room has these windows, but then they put a big cover over it, and the sun is on this side, and the living room's on that side, so it's jet black. So the people that moved in before me use it as an office because you can't use it for anything else. The kitchen, like I said, you can go side to side by spreading your arms. They also didn't think when they built the bathroom, the bedrooms, they went in there and had the electricians come in and put all the electrical in. And then they came in and put the doors in. Guess where all the plugs were, the switches were? Behind the doors. So you had to open the door, walk in a bedroom, close the door to turn the light on. So little things like that, they never thought about it. But that's okay. It was a good price, and it served its purpose, and it still does. So that's where I'm at. I hope I'm not boring you to death. Okay. Gary went right away when we got married. He started switching things around. Not so much the electrical, but the doors. He changed the doors. It's like, who has a bathroom light switch behind the door and you can't get in unless you go? It's a tiny bathroom too. The main bathroom in that house looks like it should have been a third bathroom, like a little tiny. But anyways, doesn't matter. So I bought the house for the property. And that was it. We were happy. We were staying here. In fact, there was one point Gary and I were thinking about 15 years ago because of property taxes and just stuff in general. We were actually thinking of moving to Las Vegas area. I started to kind of look at property there. Property was really cheap back then. And then this house became available. That's a story in itself. That's weird, but anyways, I found there was no sign on it. They didn't have a for sale sign. This house, I heard at one time, was absolutely beautiful. There was I know the people with the lions lived here from the 70s into the early 80s, I believe. Then it was flipped after they left with the lions. You can imagine, with the animals, they had all kinds of animals. So they bought the house to flip it, and they cleaned it up is all they did. I mean, they really did it on the cheap because the fireplace in there had this paisley tile that didn't match anything, in yellow and orange, and it was like, it was whatever they had, they put it together. We redid that. So it came up for sale, and there was, at the same time, we were kind of still thinking about moving to Las Vegas, because I found this property that was on a cul-de-sac, and it was big, and it was like a pie shape. So the house was sitting there, and then the property went way out that way, and it was like, it looked like it would have been a really good buy. But this came up at the same time. A lot of people don't even know that. I don't even think my parents know that. Oh, and the reason I didn't tell my mom about the house that I bought, because she's a city girl. She likes neighbors on top of her. And the first day she came to visit me after I bought the house, and she walked out on the deck and yelled out, "Oh my God," she said, "you have no neighbors. What did you buy? Where do you live?" And she just totally freaked out. I love it. I do have neighbors. I was talking to my neighbors this morning. They can hear me from the deck. So anyways, going back to this house, I found out this house went up for sale. The guy that moved in he moved in a year or so before I moved into mine. So he moved in about 86. It's a story in itself too. He was married, but his wife didn't know that he bought this house for his girlfriend. And when he broke up from his girlfriend, he had to tell his wife about the house, and that was a whole ordeal. Oh, the guy was, I don't even want to get into the guy. He was a nightmare. He ended up, his wife stayed with him, moved into this house for about 6 months or something, and then she left him. I wonder why. But anyways, so he lived here, and I can freely talk about him because he's gone now. He died. He was a nutcase. I don't even know how to, oh my gosh, the nightmare he brought to us. Gary and I got married back in, let's just say early 90s. He killed all our cats. And I'm sure he did it to other people around here too, but he would shoot them, he would drown them. This is not to bring you down, I'm just telling you the truth. And we didn't know what was happening to him. One cat did come home one day really bad. He got out and he was waterlogged, and we took him to the vet. We worked a long time to keep him alive, and we did. And we said, what happened? Nobody could figure it out. Well, when he moved in here after his wife left, he went back to Alabama on a weekend, basically, met somebody else and brought her back and married her. And she had a daughter. And I got along with her. And her daughter was about around the same age as my daughter. And they became friends. But of course, I never talked to her husband. In fact, he didn't like me and I didn't like, we just didn't talk. So let's see, where am I going with this? So anyways, it was the daughter that told us, I'm going to tell you something I'm not supposed to tell you. And she told us about what he was doing to the cats. And Gary came over here, found the trap, stole the trap. Gary took the trap. He called the police. We had the police here, and I should say the sheriffs. We had to give him back the trap. They didn't care what he was doing, because anything on his property, he could do what they want, they said at the time. And then he threatened to kill me and bury me in the yard. I had that recorded. So then I had the sheriffs back down here, and we made a pact that he would leave us alone and we would leave him alone. And I always left him alone, but he was just, he was one of those neighbors that you have a nightmare, that you worry about. Because he had pit bulls. That's the reason I had to fence the whole property, because the pit bulls were dangerous. Even his wife at the time, the new wife from Alabama, she was afraid of him. But her and I stayed friends, and she hated it up here. We had to get her daughter out once because he was abusing her daughter. She had no say in him because he had complete control over her. So between us and another neighbor, we got the daughter shipped back to Alabama to her father. So that's where she stayed. I didn't have that part. She had come to me, and then I passed the daughter on to another neighbor that lived out here. And that neighbor knew her father and called her father. She was not little at the time. And the father had her shipped back, and then the mother knew. The mother was okay with it because she knew she couldn't do anything with this guy. Was crazy. He took the bedroom door off the little girl's bedroom, and it was just... Anyways, she hated it here, his new wife. So she got him to buy her a beautiful home somewhere else or a penthouse somewhere. I don't know. And they moved out, and then he rented this. He didn't rent it. He pretended to sell it to somebody, but he didn't. And the guy thought he kind of owned the house, but he didn't. And then when Victor died, the estate called the house back, and he found out he owed $880,000 on the house, and he thought he owned it. He tried to sell it. Nobody was going to buy it at that time. The recession was just starting, and he ended up demolishing the entire house on the inside. That's not the reason we got the house. You still want to hear this story? When I was having problems with Victor killing our cats, there was only one thing I had that I could really go after him. When I had the properties surveyed, and that was the first thing I had done right away, this house with the bird garden, the driveway belonged to my other house, the one I was living in, not him. It belonged to me. So I talked to a realtor and said, what do? I don't want to stop the guy from going on his property, but the whole driveway, the whole front, when they built the house, belonged to me. And she told me to put a sign up, notice sign, just so he's aware of it. And I put the notice sign out. This is after he even killed Gary's goat. Gary had a baby goat he was bottle feeding at the time, and we had it in our yard. And our yard again meets his yard, the property. These two properties are like right on top of each other almost. And we went somewhere, I can't remember where we went that day. We came home and the goat had passed out. We took it to the vet. There was nothing we can do, and it passed away. When we came home, we found out he took an oleander plant, put it up against the chain link, and pushed it through. So the baby goat that was already starting to eat nibbled on a couple oleander leaves. This is what kind of mind this guy had. So anyways, when I put that notice out, it was just a sign, just a notice to, for anybody concerned that the property line is. And that's when he told me I was out here, and he said, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to bury you. And I had a recorder on me at that time. And that's when I called the sheriffs, and they wanted to arrest him. At that point, they were going to arrest him, but it was easier to just say, don't come near my fence line again, leave me alone, and you can do what you want. And that was it. Didn't give him the property, but let him do what he wanted. He didn't believe me. He went and had it surveyed and found that it was true. So anyways, you still want to hear this. So when the house came up for sale, and the guy that was living here tore it to pieces, no joke, we saw that chimney. I mean, he was a nice guy. He'd come to the fence sometimes and say hello, and nothing against the one that he pretended to sell the house to. Victor held the loan, not knowing that the problem was the guy drank. So he didn't know what was going on half the time. So he thought he owned the house. So when he found out he didn't own the house and he couldn't sell it to pay back the loan, which was $880,000, he started having all these beautiful, the fireplace you've seen in there, just billowing with smoke all day. Little did anybody know he was dismantling everything in the house on the inside and burning it. The kitchen was gone. There was nothing left in the house. So you still want to hear this. The weird thing was nobody knew the house was for sale. And this is why it's so freaky weird. I was working on the computer. I was doing eBay at the time, the artwork I used to do for bookmarks for kids and adults for all over the world. I was sitting at my computer. You're going to all think I'm nuts. I don't know if anybody's ever had this. And I have never been here. Just so you know, I have never been in this house. My daughter has been here a couple times when he wasn't home to play with his stepdaughter at the time, early on. But I have never been in the house. I've never been on the property. I don't know anything about it. I was sitting at my computer. You may not be able to hear it. See if it's almost 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, I only have 5 minutes. And I had almost like a voice in my head. Go next door. And I'm by myself in the dining room. I keep hearing, go next door, go next door, go next door. And it's like this feeling. You get a tingle, and it's like, go next door. So Gary always says he knows I know things. Without telling Gary, I don't know why, I got up from the computer after this annoying go next door. And I come over here, and the gate's open. And the door is open. I open the door, I peek in, and there's nothing left. The house, you can see, is torn to pieces. Everything is trashed. Windows broken. And it's like, what the heck is going on? At that point, I didn't go all the way in. I ran home, got Gary, and said, you got to come back with me. And he goes, well, I'm not going next door. I said, there's nobody there. So he came back with me, and we did walk through the house. And we found he had taken the eviction notice and put it on the wall and blew it to pieces with his gun. And there were all kinds of stuff, trash. And we found that at that point, we found the notice from the lawyers, the trust fund, the ones that were had it under the trust fund, about the house. Again, it wasn't really for sale. It wasn't for sale. So long story short, we did get some help. I did contact the lawyers immediately. We had a lot of people that wanted to buy the house once it started to get listed through the lawyers, I guess, the trust fund company that was holding on to stuff. And Lydia, I should say his wife, I said, look, the driveway belongs to us. And let me tell you something. The first thing Gary did when he found out that this was going on is he put up a chain link fence, this is not a joke, across the entire rest of my property that was surveyed. So at this moment, nobody could come to this house because they would have to pass my property because the whole driveway, the whole front of the property belonged to that house. So we put up a chain link, and we had a couple of builders came here and said, oh, well, we'll just smash this down and build this and that, and we'll build a big house down there and one up here and all this. It's like, oh my gosh. But we worked it out. Thank goodness her and I was always on her side, always ready to help her if she needed something. She dropped the price that they were thinking to almost half. And we had a lot of help. And we ended up buying this house. And that was 15 years ago. And then once we bought the house, the issue was, you still want to hear this, and thank goodness for her. I mean, thank goodness I even babysat for her. I didn't want to take any money from her. And she used to, this is when she lived there, she wanted to go get her hair done. She was like, oh, she was beautiful. And she would pay me. She says, I have my own account. I said, I don't want you to pay me. Please take $10, $15, whatever. And that was years ago. I didn't want any money. She would leave money, but just a little bit. Like I said, $5, $10 for watching her daughter. I would keep her daughter overnight whenever she had an issue here. So when she found out it was me, they dropped it in half. They understood the property line. They actually had asked first if I would sell that piece of property. Do you know how much it costs to have it resurveyed and re-put into another one? And I said no, because that property, I told them, this is what I told her trust fund people, is prime property. It's not a lie, because it's the highest part of the driveway and you can see the entire canyon, and I would never part with that property. It sounds good. It worked. So since I wouldn't sell the property and they would have to redesign the whole property, and she didn't care at that time. He was so wealthy and she had more than she needed. She cut it in half, said, this is what the price is going to be. Like I said, we got help, and we don't go anywhere. We don't vacation. And that's when we bought the property 15 years ago. Gary was against it at the time. He thought it would be too much work and too hard on us, which it was. We had no money to fix anything. And this is not a joke. This was literally a shell. He had even taken all the stucco off the walls. There was no stucco out here. Little by little, Gary started the stucco. We did insure the property, and the insurance company came down and said, we have an issue. It never went in at that time. And I said, what? He goes, we can't really insure it when there's only chicken wire on the outside and there's no stucco. So Gary stuccoed the outside, replaced the broken glass that was all broken. We did the real basics. We still never did the carpeting. Some of the furniture was left, and I cleaned it up and kept some of it. And the kitchen, I told you, he had taken every single cabinet out and burned it. He kept the refrigerator because he could keep his beer in there. So the refrigerator was fine. It was a big Sub-Zero at the time, which eventually broke recently. But we got a new fridge. But he didn't break the refrigerator. He left the sink and the island, I forgot. He had completely dismantled that and threw everything down in, like where Gary's garden is, that was like a big trash pit. So whatever he couldn't burn, he was piling. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know anything about it. I feel bad for him. Never talked to him. That means I'm 30 minutes. I'll finish this up real quick. But Gary was worried about it, and it did set us back. It set us back a lot because now we had both properties. we're not going to put them together because if we ever decide to sell, then you have to subdivide it again, and that's a nightmare. So we're leaving it, which is perfect. The first thing he did when we got the property, I mean, the moment we knew we were closing escrow, which we did really quick, was he cleared all, there was no elephant food there. There was just brush. He cleared the brush. You probably see me walk through there, and he put a gate there. So immediately we could go back and forth. It's literally one house on top of the other, so it works out really good. And then there were times we didn't know what we were going to do with it. So the kitchen, now I don't have to get into the kitchen because you can go back and watch the one I did I think when Gary was working on the back room last week, I talked about the kitchen. The kitchen was terrible. I don't have a lot of photos. 15 years ago, we weren't doing YouTube. We weren't doing anything. Back then, you had a little red camera to carry around. There wasn't much to do. And I took some photos and not a lot. And I wish I would have taken more because the stuff he did in the house, including I did the fireplace. I had him do the top because I didn't want to climb all the way up. But the fireplace was hideous with the red brick and the paisley yellow orange tiles they put on. Gary busted that out and put in, we got some gray, beautiful floor tiling, gray. And that was, a lot of the stuff came from the Habitat. So we got that. And then I didn't like the style of the fireplace. Maybe I'll show it one day. So I took a block of wood and I took glue and I put birdseed on it because I didn't want to do a sponge print. You know how you do sponge painting when you're in school? I wanted it to look rocky. And so I took all kinds of birdseed, not like the parakeet seed, glued it on, wiped it so whatever was left on the block. And then I took different browns and gray, and I put it in a tray. And I lightly would tap it. And then after I painted the whole fireplace beige, I spotted the whole thing. It looks like rock. It looks really cool. I love it. So I did all that. And like I said, I had Gary do the top because I didn't feel like climbing I don't like big ladders. But I did anything I could reach on a short ladder and did all that. We did that. We haven't done the carpeting, so it is falling apart. And I won't do carpeting. At some point, we'll put in, have to be careful on laminate. Certain plastics Gary's allergic to. It starts his allergy up. So we'll do something on the floor at some point. It's plywood, so you can't do anything else. Don't kid yourself. Next door, there was a room that was plywood, and I painted it, and it looked really good. And that I sponge painted. But then one day, I went in the Home Depot, and they had a box of tiles, those stick-on tiles, and it was like it was $100 I think it was $100 for the whole box. And I figured out it would work in the room, and I redid the whole room in that. I was short, but I had enough pieces for a corner to piece it together, so it worked out really good. HD, I think it was called. They were going out of business, probably due to the recession. They do have other stores, but the one that was in our area was closing, and that's when they were blowing out all the cabinets. And we went down there, and it was like, buy 2 kitchen cabinets, get that peekaboo free, the corner. I call them peekaboo. So we ended up buying all those cabinets, and that was the only thing Gary fixed up. Even the plumbing was shot in the house. The house was a very good fixer-upper. It was a fixer-upper. So we did the kitchen, and then the rest of it sat. Now, little by little, that's why you saw the back room. It's something we talked about for 15 years, and he was going to do it, and we never had the time or the money. So we're doing it little by little. My goal, I've gone over 30 minutes, is to move from the first house from 1988 and to move in here. I don't want to sell anything unless I have to. If I have to, I will, but I hope not, because that property is the one that's got the avocado trees, the citrus trees. It's beautiful. It's got all the trees. This property is set up so much better, actually, because you can drive to the house. You can unload your groceries at the door. You can drive in and park right in the back and go into the house. The other one's got this long driveway, and you have to drive in, but you can only back out this long driveway. You can't really, the access of the house is kind of odd. Like I said, I didn't buy it for the house. If I was buying it for the house, I wouldn't have bought it. I bought it because I had enough level land, what I wanted to do. And I'm not knocking it down, building a new house. No. So anyways, my goal is to move in here. And the other thing too, that house was built in 1976. This one was built in 1950. They had this thing where they must have thought stairs were really cool. So it's like, you want to go to the bedrooms? You have to go down these weird stairs. And so you go down 3 big stairs. You want to go into the living room? You have to go up a stair. You want to go into the family room? You go down a stair. It's like everything is stairs. So this one is all level. It's got a couple little stairs, nothing big. And it's actually, I think I like older houses better than newer houses. And I think there's something about this house I like. And anyways, our goal is to go from one to the other in the next 5 years. And we did, are you around? You can, I'm finishing up this story because I went over my 30 minutes. What happened was, what made us start getting more stuff done, we had the kitchen already done. The kitchen was beautiful. And like I said, it was all done from the Habitat and what does that stand for?
HD Supply.
HD Supply. Here, you can sit if you want. I don't know if they can see you. They can't. Here. Oy, oy, oy. Here, move my chair over a little.
Which way?
This way. A little more. I got to cut this because this was supposed to a little bit more. I still don't know if you're in there. And then you come over a little bit more. I think we're there. I can't believe my throat hasn't dried out.
Use your timer?
It did. It's off. We should be getting off. We did the kitchen because, well, you like cooking in here. You cook sometimes in here. You cook probably more than me in here. I like my little kitchen. And then my granddaughter came to me a couple years ago. She wanted to move in. I said, you can't move in. The bathroom doesn't work and all this stuff. She wanted to move in. She begged. She said, I want to move in. She's going to college. And she said, I'll take there's a little tiny bedroom. That was Lauren's room, right?
Yeah, Lauren's room.
Lauren's room that lived here. And she said, I'll take that bedroom. Here, you can grab this and hold it. You can answer questions. She said, and so Gary immediately, we said, okay, I don't know how you're going to do this. There's no laundry in here. It doesn't matter. I can shower somewhere else at school. She was like all this stuff. We ended up calling in that time the plumbers, and we got the bathroom finished, the one bathroom. We needed to fix the shower, the sink. Now, we never did the countertop in there, so it's still the countertop. Oh, now we did. We just recently did it. But back then it wasn't. Laundry, she was going to experience on how to do laundry at a laundromat. She uses mine. So she moved in. Gary, you carpeted the room yourself. That was cheap, though. He painted the whole room, whatever color she wanted. I guess it's white. We got her drapes. She's got black drapes in there. And then we got brand new gray carpeting because she was doing YouTube at the time. So I said to her, I would go with gray carpeting because if you want to film in there, she was asked to do commercials and stuff during the lockdown. She was doing all kinds of stuff because gray won't change the color, because I know this from working with art and different things. So when you've got lighting or you're doing something, you'll get vivid color, real vivid color. But if you go with brown or beige, you'll start to turn red. If you use other colors, so we went with gray. We got her a really nice model gray. I haven't even been in there for a while. Kind of a really nice carpeting, and that cost about $100. And Gary put the carpeting in. You fixed the closet doors up because I think Victor had taken all that off.
I put closet doors on.
And we fixed it up, so she has that. And of course, we're right here. We got cameras around. If anybody comes around, believe you me, we know. And like I said, we're here most of the time. A lot of times we're here more than even the other house. So that's why we have 2 kitchens. So the kitchen was fixed up first because it cost us less than $1,000. Then the second thing fixed up was the room for Anissa to sleep in. And then we immediately fixed the 1 bathroom. And now we just fixed the second bathroom. There's 2 bathrooms in here. It's kind of weird. It's a Jack and Jill bathroom. So it's 1 shower with 2 bathrooms, 1 on each side. You have a master bedroom, a small bathroom, and then you've got a shower. And then you go into the main bathroom, and that takes you out into the hallway. So that's all that's fixed up. Now we just did the back room. We still have a lot to do. What do we have to do?
Yeah, we don't have a laundry room yet.
No, we don't have a laundry room, and we were planning on doing it in this area in the back, like off the new room, because that's where I think the laundry room was, though I have suspicions it might have been something else. And we stepped back the other day, and we started thinking of the closet, remember? But that was going to be tight, and now we found another place. It would be a perfect laundry room. So when we're ready, we'll get a laundry room put in there. But that's it. But literally, if anybody comes here, it looks like one property. So it's completely, the whole thing is one property. And if I sell any of these properties, the first thing that people do is build these skyscrapers next door to you now. No joke. I mean, 3 stories, 4 stories. They come up with all this stuff. And I personally like peace and quiet, and I think that's the reason you married me.
I think everyone's seen the house next door, I guess, that's being built slowly for the past, 3 years or whatever.
5 years, I would
5
say.
years.
It's before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's what some of the people that were looking at this property, that's what they were talking about building here.
I remember.
So,
And Gary would kind of hang around while we were going through all this with the lawyers, and people would come, builders and stuff, and they'd ask Gary, how do we get into the property? And Gary would go, I don't know, I understand that this line belongs to that property. You can't cross over. So they had to hike through and down the hill, and they were telling all the different ways they would redesign the front of the property.
yeah, they got talking to me, and they were giving me the ideas of what they were doing.
Oh, then you got ideas from them?
No, what they were planning on
Oh,
doing.
what they were planning, yeah, because
Yeah,
we never.
So, they stayed calm and I just
As
let them talk.
soon as we knew we had it, it was done, a done deal with her and me and the attorneys. He took the fence down, but we literally had a fence, and he actually put a big thing: no trespassing, big letters, no trespassing. So that was funny. So it's little by little, but it is like, so we run it as one property. Like I said, I'm here most of the time. I actually like cooking in my little kitchen. This one's got an electric oven, which we recently bought. That was such a good deal because the other one broke, and I called, and it was going to cost, I don't know, thousands of dollars just to fix it. I couldn't even believe it. And so we figured Anissa was using it, but there was a weird way you had to use it. You had to shut the breaker off, or I don't remember. It was a whole, I walked into Best Buy, and they had this beautiful double oven, blue inside. I forgot what it is. The model. Oh my gosh. I went blank on the model. Anyways, I looked at it, and it's gorgeous. And I said to the lady, what's the story on this double oven? And she said, oh, it was a display model. We just took it down, and we put the new one in, and they want it out. I said, well, how much is it? And she said, I'm not sure, $1,000, I'm not sure, or $2,000. So I said, well, I want to know because I need an oven. I wasn't even looking for an oven that day. We were not going to put an oven in. So I go to the register, and she punches in the card and I see her face, and her eyes are going. She goes like this to me. She calls the guy over. What is this? And the guy looks, and he goes, oh my gosh. And she said, and she kind of covers her hand over. I would have taken it. And I said, no, I'm buying it. It doesn't matter what the price is. How much is it though? And she looked at it, and she said, and she said, I don't need it. I don't need an oven. I said, how much is it? Was it like $600? Five?
I don't remember
prices. $500 or $600, and it was $3,500, $3,600 to start with. They literally wanted it off the floor. And she said, are you sure you want it? I said, yes. I called you, and you said, well, do what you think. And it fit. I couldn't believe it. So yes, that's how I got the double oven. Otherwise, we were using one that was broken, and it didn't work that well. But anyways, that's the story on. There are 2 houses. I like to stay on one property, even though they are 2. We do have the option, if anything happened, we could sell either one. We did not put them together. But just think, if I ever did decide to go to Las Vegas or something to move, I don't plan on it. But if we did, 2 properties are always good up here because a lot of people like a lot of land, and they would have the option to buy 2. So I'm trying to hold on as long as we can to 2 properties, and that is the full story. And I'm sure I've left a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, thanks everyone for wishing me a happy birthday. There's a lot of that, and we live between the 2.
Yeah, we do.
So,
We live between the 2, even though now Anissa lives here. And whoever else wants to come here, I'm sure your family will show up. Now your family, when your brother came and his wife, there was no way to stay here. It wasn't functional.
yeah, there wasn't hot water or anything.
No, we ate here a lot. We came here let's see, there's been people that have stayed here before, because Crystal stayed here.
Yeah.
We've had people stay here before. They're basically, you're camping. That's what I would say, and that we didn't have a problem with that. But now it is functional. We have 2 functional bathrooms in there. Still, no, I keep saying I need a replace. I keep forgetting we just did the countertop in the one Anissa uses, the big one. The kitchen's done. We might make a laundry room at some point. You got your back room done. It's going to be like a man cave. You're like, don't clutter it up. Don't put all your stuff here. I like it like this. Make sure you put your stuff away. I think it's turning into a man cave.
No, I just want it to be tidy.
He wants it to be tidy.
It looks tidy now. I don't want it to go back to kind of what it was, what we were using it for, storage.
Can you hear him? Because I have another mic I could grab for him.
Oh, you've got a mic on?
I have a mic on.
Okay.
Can you hear Gary? Nobody's saying.
Okay, then I'll speak a little louder.
No, I could grab the mic. If they can hear you, then I won't need it. I can hear Gary. Okay, so because I got a mic on my camera this time and a mic here. I think I've told now I'm going to get tomorrow. Oh, you bored us to death. I can't believe you did that. But in this way, now I can't say go listen to the 30-minute video. I don't know what I did with my timer.
Let's see.
Oh, there it is. And each house has their own unique properties to it. This house, no joke, is the one that's got the birds. The 60 species of small birds, it's this property. And yes, it was built from scratch with me adding in all the plants, the water features and everything. Notice there's no hummingbirds here. They only come through a few here and there. I've got some hummingbird feeders. We did have them here. If you look back at the old videos, we had a bunch of hummingbirds here. But now that I've set up a ton, I don't know how many feet over, at the next house, they prefer that. Could I move them here? I know I could move them here if I wanted to, but I think it gives them, to me, more peace for them to have their own place and then keep the big birds here. So no hawks or anything, scrub jays or anything bother the hummingbirds. You see it all the time out that kitchen window. And then here, you've got all the other birds coming in. So it's kind of like 2 different things. Then we've got a big bobcat that lives here now. My neighbor's been sending me pictures constantly. She's so excited. She's got it over there. So we now know there's a bobcat living on the property. The coyotes come through here, and that's why Kitty and Zoe had to be on the other property, because that's got the roll bars that Gary put up. Though you're going to put roll bars here?
Yes.
And so we keep them there because it's safer. This is not, because this is where the coyotes go through, and we see the bobcats at night. This is where the deer go through, because we're butted up against the big house up there, and we're also butted up against, I guess you could say, a wildlife corridor.
Yeah, I saw a mountain lion a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
So just walking across the street out the kitchen window.
I remember when Victor planted those little pine trees. I can remember that day he dug him in. He even said to me, that's when I was kind of talking to him when he first moved in, oh, look, I'm planting trees. And I go, that's nice. No, there was something, I already knew the story on the guy having his girlfriend living here and his wife not knowing. And then the girlfriend breaks up with him and he had to tell his wife about the house. Well, I've spoken to his wife and she's told me stories, so.
Okay, sunset gazing, apparently you said you would go over 18 minutes. I would go 18 minutes over the 30 minutes. I guess you said you were going to stay on for 30 minutes. 30. Okay.
30. So that's the whole story. And yes, there are 2 kitchens. It is not a set. Had we made a set, a lot of people make a set, and that is done beautiful. They have the white kitchen, so again, your color looks great. They don't have a high ceiling. We have a high ceiling in there, so it echoes. It's not a set. It's just that we decided to get the kitchen because at some point, I think at some point we'll end up here. Because first of all, I have the sliding door here in this big living room, and this living room still needs some work, that you can step out into this garden, and I like that. Next door, there's no front yard. You go straight onto the driveway. And that's something I kind of miss, because when I lived in Sunland, I had a front porch. I would get up in the morning after the kids went to school, sit down on the porch with a cup of coffee, and people would walk by and say hello. And I knew all my neighbors. I missed the front porch. And when I bought the house in 1988, there was no front porch. You don't see anybody. So this one, you can see people, they come by with their horses and they wave. And just recently I was gardening out front and the lady stopped by to tell me she remembers the people that lived here with the lions. And I asked her for more information, but she didn't have any more information than I knew already. And she's lived here since the 70s. So she was telling me the stories. Now I've got another neighbor that remembers them, but she wasn't allowed to come over here, right? She was a young girl.
Yeah.
Her mother said, don't you go near those people. So this one's got a nice yard that if we get the roll bars up, then Zoe can go in and out. I want to get the whole thing finished up in an area, not the whole property, because I like the deer going through, but in area, certain areas where the healers can go from one property and all the way around the other. Little things we want to do. And it's taken us 15 years to get to the back room finally. So we've got a lot done. We just need carpeting, and I don't need furniture. I'm fine with what we've got. We got Harry's old. Look at the hummingbird. Oh, they're going to start looking for me. I got to go do hummingbirds in a minute. But we've got the couch I bought at the Salvation Army. A big couch with it's got a bed, it's got recliners, the whole setup. That was years ago. As soon as we bought the house, they had it for $300, I think it was. I think it was $400, and they were having a half price sale. And I went that day and threw myself on it and said it's mine, and I bought it, and we got it home. And that we found that was worth a couple thousand, but I like it. I don't need any furniture. Go ahead.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, Mary, we're currently in the bird garden on the second property, and yes, I've been eating cookies for days.
Those cookies are really good. The idea you can take the almonds and just blend them up. I can eat like 10 of them, but I don't feel like I've eaten a lot of sugar because, and you get sugar and the flour, like when you have wheat flour especially, you feel blah. You don't get that because you've got some more almonds really, and there's not a ton of sugar. Look, they're trying to go into my new thing I want to set up. So, I don't know. I bake a lot. I cook a lot. I cook a lot. I do cook a lot. Yeah. But I don't have recipes. I'll just go in there and just make stuff. So that's why it's hard to do anything like, oh, do cooking. You'd never be able to follow me because half the time I can't go back and redo it. I made once this meat casserole that was so good. He raved about it. No way I can go back and redo it because I didn't film doing it. It was grabbing out this and putting it was so good, and he got it one time. But otherwise I just go on and do whatever I've got. Anyways, now I can't tell anybody to go back and watch a 30-minute video on, yes, we have 2 kitchens. Anissa loves the kitchen. Oh my goodness, she's in there, she cooks like a chef. I come in here and it just smells wonderful. When there's parties, her dad comes over early in the morning and they all cook. Now my grandson wants to be a chef, professional chef. He comes over and cooks. That kitchen here is perfect. With the cooktop we got from the Habitat for $150, and the gas company came out, went over it, and he adjusted all of them. That was so nice of him. So we had the cooktop for $150, the beautiful oven for $500 or $600. The refrigerator was also a floor model. That was supposed to be. That was the first thing we bought. That was within the 2 years. That was a floor model, and that one was. Don't quote me, like $800, but it was supposed to be like $1,600. So I kind of would go into Best Buy, look around and see if you have Best Buy near you. See what they've got as floor models, because when they want them out, they want them out, and they deliver. Don't let them say they don't. They'll try everything and then say no, that they'll deliver. The kitchen's set, the bathrooms are set now. Now you've got your back room almost set. I like the cabinets you built. We don't have time to show them because I said 30 minutes. Gary made some custom cabinets in there, made out of the scrap cabinets from the kitchen that we never would use. I don't even think we were going to ever use them, but it must have been like after buying the cabinets, buy 2, get 1 free. It's probably all they had left, so we took them. Now you talk. I've talked too much. Oh, look, he's sitting right next to me and they can't see him. Did you see him? The little white crown right here.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Okay, thanks again for people wishing me a happy birthday. It was actually yesterday, and what I did yesterday is what I usually do on my birthday. is I just work like I do any other day. So I don't really celebrate my birthday. It's just another day to me. So that's just how I see things.
He always says the greatest gift is don't give him anything. But then my daughter went and bought him a banana plant,
Yeah,
a really fancy, expensive banana plant.
a 1,000-finger banana. And I planted it right away, and apparently it's got these huge banana stalks that might have 1,000 bananas on them, but they're really tiny. So they're an interesting banana, and it's doing well. She gave it to me a couple of months ago now.
Yeah, she
So-
bought it and said don't. She didn't want to hold on to it. She was afraid. Plus, when she bought it, I know she paid a lot. The thing already stood that tall. I said, "Who ships that?" She said, "Oh, I do that all the time." She knows all the places where to get trees and different plants. So she bought that for him. She wanted to make sure she got it because they don't always have them. They're real rare. And then she brought it over and said, "I can't hold it. I want you to plant it."
Yeah, I got it established in the ground before the cooler weather came in, and that was ideal because now we're starting to cool off a bit.
Yeah, look how dark the clouds are over there. It said no rain. I am talked out. Anything else you want to say? Because we went way over the 30 minutes. They're still wishing you happy. I know it's not boring. It was sad. You had those two Siamese cats. We had gone to some meeting at that
Are
time.
you talking about? Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, and you who don't, he's not a cat person. For some reason, he really liked these two cats, and they acted like dogs. They would follow him everywhere. If he was working in the garage, they were in the garage. If he was doing something else, they were with him, and we didn't know what happened to him. One day they were both gone. And then this started to happen, and that's when we found out what Victor was doing.
Yeah, obviously I'm Australian, and cats were introduced to Australia, and they've wreaked havoc on the native wildlife. They've made some species extinct, and they're still a big problem in Australia. So cats weren't my thing when I came here, but I had a couple of cats for a while.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Now I feel
No, I'm
bad.
not-
I thought
not
you were going to
tearing
start.
up, no.
Okay, I wasn't sure because he really loved those two cats. I had a cat, the first one Victor got. I didn't know what happened to her. We would go down at night because I had stuff I had to take care of at night after I took care of the kids. This was before I met Gary. And she'd walk with me and I would do stuff and then I'd come back. And every night she went with me. She was at my side. And when I was done with doing stuff in the yard, I'd come in. And then one evening, she followed me all the way to the house. And I turned around, she wasn't there. I spent all night looking for her. The kids were looking for her. We didn't know. We had no idea. We didn't find this out until a year or two later. He was putting traps right up against the property with tuna. And he took care of Kitsy. And if I would have known,
you opened up about that?
I told him all.
Okay.
I didn't tell him about Kitsy.
Yeah, he
But the gray cat that
opened up
came
a
home
can of tuna, set it in the live animal trap, and
and put it right up
right
against
up
our
against
fence.
the fence.
And I couldn't figure it out. She was right with me. And like the kids are going, "Where is she?" I said, "She was right here with me." And I didn't know he did. He knew where I was coming up because the property line was right there. And she must have gone right over the fence and he caught her and he took her away. And I had no idea. And it was his stepdaughter that told me what was going on. I said, "No, he wouldn't do that." She says, "Yes, he'll kill me if he finds out I told you." And that's when you came here and found it. And this was going on, I guess, for years. So, yeah, I'm just surprised at the time the sheriffs wouldn't do anything, but nobody cared. What he does
Yeah.
on his property at that time, they said he can do.
Well, the way the world works, I'd be the one in trouble for trespassing on his property and stealing his property. So it would have been on me. It wasn't on him for what he was doing. So he got his trap returned.
Well, the sheriff took it back from you.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The sheriff came, when he came
I-
over, he said, "Look, I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to tell the guy to screw off," basically. I remember he said that. But he said, "I'm not arresting you. He wants you arrested. I'm just going to say I found this trap here." But he said, "You can't go back and get the trap." I said, "But he's killing our cat." "I don't care. We can't do anything." But I'm just saying he came up with a story and he took the trap and gave it back to him.
Yeah, I always make sure that I'm friendly and I meet the local law enforcement. And, I gave him the trap and he returned the trap. So that way I didn't have to deal with them. Because there are a lot of wild incidents over the years. I don't know. I'd step outside and,
Oh, he was walking around with his rifle?
oh yeah, he'd fire his rifle in the air.
Oh, he filed
He'd be
it.
standing at the fence and I'd step outside and I'd be doing whatever I was doing and he'd fire his 22 in the air and just stare at me. And I didn't panic or anything. I just sort of looked at him and kept going on what I was doing because I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to get me to panic or be scared. So
Or confront him.
Or confront him or whatever. And I didn't react to him, so he stopped doing that. He didn't get a rise from me, so that stopped.
I didn't even get into all that, but
Okay, I don't know what
no,
you
yeah,
said.
that's fine. No, that's fine. I just didn't. I tried to keep it down to 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
obviously, we're at. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Oh, it's going to be on that one because this is my tablet. So that's the story with the house. That's the story with the guy. The only reason I can talk about that is because he's long dead for over 15 years. I don't know when he died, but it was 15 years ago the estate wanted to get rid of this house. He probably has been gone for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
He wasn't the healthiest guy, but anyways, that's the story. So yes, there's 2 kitchens. There's no set. So it'd be nice to have a set. No, I couldn't even waste my time with a set because I don't think anybody's going to want to watch me cook because I just cook. I put foods together I like. I mean, the stuff I come up with, I just come up with stuff in it. I put flavors together that we like, except I don't put popolo in anything. He loves his popolo. That gets served on the side. I don't like popolo, but you like it.
Yeah, I like Popolo.
All right. We're in Southern California, not as far as San Diego. So let's see, who asked me that? This is life. We have 5 species of hummingbirds. I love this cup. The only one we don't have here in my yard that I have not seen, I don't believe, is, and I don't even know how to say it. How do you say it? Calliope? Calliope?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, that's the only one. It's supposed to be here, but they're more mountainy areas. They like to sit on top of things, but I've never seen one. That's not to say I won't ever see one, but we have the Allens. Look, it's all here. Isn't this beautiful? We don't have the ruby throat. We have the Allens. We have the black chin. We've got the Costas that stay more in the garden than they do at the feeders. So I've got videos on them at the fountains here. Let's see, we've got the Rufus. We've got the Annas. And is that it? I think that's it. We don't have the broadtail. So that would be basically it. We have 5 species. And that's I can't think of anything else. So I guess that's all we're talking about is the kitchen. So when I get the messages, do you have 2 kitchens? Do you have 2 houses? Go watch the video. But we do. We live between 2. We're here most of the time and we sleep there and we do our laundry there. And so does Nissa. All you have to do is walk. You have anything else to say?
No, I can't think of anything.
Because then I'm going to close this off. Now they're still wishing you, Lady Cat, happy birthday. Love to see more baking and cooking. If you do, it's going to be basically raw footage. I'll get something together on the green drink because I think that's important. I haven't had a green drink for a couple days. And let me tell you something. I feel the difference when I don't have it. I'll do the pizza one. I got to make more pizza for you. I made pizza recently. I'll do something on that. And I can't think of anything else. The evil is gone. Gosh, my throat gets dry really easy. I think it's all the plants. And the talking.
I think we've also got Santa Ana conditions.
Oh, it's been so dry. I can feel it in my hair and my skin. It's been so dry. I don't think there's, if I missed anything, loving the 30-minute video. Geraldine, hey, what? I swore. I even came out with a timer. What I'm going to have to do is set a timer on my phone, and then it just shuts off. A button that just shuts it off in the middle of talking. Wouldn't that be something? Anyways, they're still wishing you a happy birthday. Mary Playford is wishing you a happy birthday. Dorothy Heartjen, thanks for sharing. Sunshine Country Chickens, more Gary videos. Well, now he's got a room. Now you got your room. You can. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're going to do in
well,
there.
I've got little projects that it'd be better to do indoors than outdoors. And I'd have a flat surface that I can just set up, and I can do a little project there and I can walk away and leave it. The issue I have is I'm constantly running from one thing to another, and I don't get time to sort of work straight, get something done, and then edit it and put it up. So I have to get better at doing that.
I love editing on my tablet. It makes it so easy. I used to do it at the computer. I get so tired of sitting at the computer. I should do it at the computer. They're nicer when I do it at the computer. But when I do it on my tablet, it's just easier.
That's the other thing. If you look at our videos, you'll see that there's two different editing styles. So we edit our own stuff, because we enjoy doing it. I know some people pay to have their videos edited, but we enjoy, at least I do.
I do. I absolutely. Well, I feel that I can express myself if I do it myself, though I know that there's companies on YouTube that will do it for real cheap, but you can tell when you watch it. It's all just chopped up, and they put it together. And I mean, some of them are really good, but I want to be able to talk about a bird and drop in the bird that was here, or talk about. I think sometimes you'll see the videos, have all these drop-in footage, and then as you get to the end, there's not as much. I'm tired. I shouldn't say that. I don't like watching myself. I don't like being in front of the camera, number one. Number two, I don't like listening to the same video over and over of mine. I can watch somebody else's video 100 times sometimes just to pick up little things, but my own, it's like, oh, come on, Robbie, be done already. It's like I'm going, like Gary can listen to the same video 50 times to get it the way you want it.
Yeah, but I
only can do it once and sometimes twice. Go ahead.
I was trained when I was a machinist. I had to focus 100% on what I was doing.
My brain is, you're done, and let's go on to the next project. It's like, I got to put this together. It's like, I guess I'm not going to have time to get that today because we're getting cloudy. I'll do it tomorrow. I've got it all ready to go. But, that was a big bird. But I'm ready to, once I'm done with what I've done, I'm ready to go on to the next project. It's kind of probably attention deficit disorder. I've been that way since I was a little kid. And I've talked about that. In grammar school, they would find jobs for me. From first grade on, they would find jobs. They didn't drug you up at that time, to be perfectly honest. Back then, I was a good kid, but it's like, okay, by the time I was in 4th and 5th grade, she's done with her work. I wasn't an A student, but she's done with her work. Let's send her down the kindergarten class and let her take care of the kids. So I knew all the kindergartners every year because I was doing that. I was a nurse's aide. When I was bored, they sent me down there. My mother stopped that after 6 months when she found out the kids were coming in really sick and I was taking care of them. They put me in singing. I didn't want that. I had my teacher in 4th grade made me go down and try out for chorus. And I remember, I can't sing at all now. She went up the piano and she looked at me, Mrs. White, and she said, would you please do this again? I was probably sorry about probably with folded arms because I did not want to be there. And she went up all the way to the end and she looked at me and said, go back to class. And I got immediately a message, you're in choir, you're a soprano. But she did do one thing for me. I had stage fright. She never made me do a solo. Otherwise, I would have probably ran away. So they always kept me busy, teacher's aides. I think I probably do have attention deficit disorder because I'm always ready to do something else. I've talked too much here.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks, Barbara, and have a good day. What else?
Thank you, Donald. Barbara's got a wrench. Thank you, all the members. Thank you, because I know Donald and Barbara.
Yeah,
Barbara C.
has to go and what?
You go do what you have to do because I've got to go do hummingbirds. I've been filling those feeders constantly. So many of them are here. Even the food behind me, I know the birds are all waiting because we're kind of sitting on top of them. And the video I'm going to work on, it's on composting, but it's not for me. I'm going to use it differently, and I think it's going to be fantastic because it's going to be so useful for me. I cannot believe how great this is going to be. I've done it where I haven't even talked much about it, and then I set something up on the deck, and it is just phenomenal. So I'm going to set them up here. Hopefully I'll get that video hopefully by this weekend. And then I still want to do one on geraniums, and I don't know what else right now. And I'll try to do more live. So Barbara, goodbye, thank you. Donald, thank you for, everything you've done. And Mike, don't even know how long I talk because you're there with the timer and I'm here with just my tablet. You have anything else you want to say?
Mary asked about the pile of wood chips. I moved the pile out front and I'm working on the other piles out back now. And now that I've got it, I'm just taking my time. The big pile that I had to move out front was to clear a pathway so we could bring the cars in. So that was the major pile, and now I'm slowly moving little by little the piles in the back and just getting it placed where we need it.
Yeah, I haven't used much of that, but you were going to put it in your garden mainly.
Yeah.
Or you might spread a little bit around here,
Yeah,
you said.
I'll be bringing more
especially
in,
before it rains.
Yeah, because I can see it. This needs topping up.
And the mud, it gets
and
muddy.
The mud.
I left the hose on before, and then I walked through it, and then to go in the house, it's muddy. We haven't done the carpeting yet anyway, so it doesn't matter. Who just said something about composting? I saw your name, it rolled by. We learned self-control, Dorothy. I saw it. You said I can't find it now. Oh, Dorothy. Heartjen, yes, please. I'm a composter failure. This works wonders. And nothing gets in it, and the birds are happy if you have birds. This is going to be great. And if you don't have birds, it doesn't matter. You should see, I've got to show the peppers. You should see the peppers that I've got next to this thing. They're supposed to be little, and they're big. And we're going into winter. You saw them this morning. Yep. I showed you. Unreal. This is going to be fun. I mean, I'm not going to change anything I do because I still like everything I do, but it's nice to have different methods. Okay. So anyways, I know there might be other questions. Carmen Rand, much love from Boston, Massachusetts. I guess it would be Rand, R-A-N-D. Josephine McDonald, looks like you've gone longer than an hour. Oh my gosh. There goes my 30 minutes. Yeah. People are going to say, well, I don't want you to tell me to go to an hour video. I want you to just tell me.
Yeah, everyone on the East Coast, stay safe, and I hope you don't get too hammered by the weather that's coming in.
They have bad weather going in there? Wow, I didn't know that. I haven't looked for that. Let's see. Geraldine liked hearing the life history. Wow. What a venture here. It worked out good. Now we have his property. And I don't feel his ghost here at all. So he's not here. Though I do know he liked the property. He planted a lot of the trees around here. But his wife, thank goodness, did not like it. His new wife.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think I'm talked out. I'm not talked out. I've got to go do hummingbirds. Jane Hill, I think I did say hello to you. If I didn't, Donald said, Donald, you got a wrench. You should shut me off next time when I say 30 minutes. You hit the button. I think I can make you a bigger moderator. That's where the pool is, isn't it? They're putting the infinity pool.
That's a chainsaw. Yeah, that's where they're working.
Hold on. Are they cutting anything of ours?
No, it won't be anything of ours, but I don't know what they're...
Oh, maybe you should go check up on that.
I should go and check up
Okay, go check up on that. And I thought that was where do not tell me that they want to have a view and they're going to take that pepper tree down.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, but...
Take a drive.
No, I might just walk.
You're going to walk?
Yep.
Okay.
Well...
All right, so he's going to check on what's really going on.
Thanks for...
Julianne Berry, have a wonderful day. Thank you. Another member. Linda Hauser, hello. She's saying hello. If I missed anybody, I am sorry. Hello, Lynn. I say cook for us without a recipe. It will be fun. All right. I'll do something. KASW. We don't have to, let's see. We don't have to watch yourself. We will watch you. You just film and post. Okay. All right, so I'm going to step up there and shut it off, and you can. Oh, I'm stiff now. I sat for over an hour. Boy, I do get stiff. So anyways, have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. Again, I'm sorry if I bored you. Go ahead and wave.
Okay.
Do you want to say anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. I might just take a walk and see what they're doing. And
You're supposed to, I got like a message. You're supposed to tell people to like and subscribe.
okay,
No, you're supposed to.
I'm supposed to do it.
No, just YouTube off and
okay,
on sends
in
messages.
general,
You
yeah.
don't tell people to like and subscribe.
Okay. Well, with that, thanks for watching. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't a subscriber and you'd like to subscribe and be notified, you can always subscribe and hit the bell.
That's the mic.
Okay, now I've got the mic. So if you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe, and the bell notification, you've got a couple of settings on that. You could be notified in a few different ways. You just have to hit the bell and then select what way you want to be notified, or if you don't want to be notified. And with that, thanks for watching. Is that pretty much
Yeah,
it?
that's it. It's just off and on. They message you and say.
No,
"You're
I
not
can't
tell-"
remember.
Oh, I don't know.
what else I'm
half the
supposed
time
to
I
say.
forget, or I put a little
Oh,
logo
and if you
on.
want to leave a comment, feel
Oh,
free
yeah.
to leave a comment, because the live feed, that goes away after it's uploaded, which is unfortunate because some people have left a lot of comments in the live feed and that disappears.
That's
So
new.
something new YouTube's doing.
Yeah, they're pulling the chats. Whoops,
Yeah.
I'm kicking the
So
camera.
if you've got any questions, I guess you go back and you post a comment after the feed ends.
Okay, and you're supposed to say, "Don't forget to eat what you
Oh,
grow."
and don't forget to eat what you grow.
And we're not wearing our T-shirts I made. I'll make more later on when I have more time to design stuff. Okay, bye-bye,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you. Have a wonderful. I don't know. Oh, it's only 2. Okay, I was gonna say evening, but for some of you, it is evening. Have a wonderful evening. We'll be back soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.